Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 11th day of September. It's 9/11 today of 2024. Um, now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, I gotta go through all this stuff right at the beginning, so let me just do this. Target view trades. There. If you've not taken a free trial with us, just go here to targetviewtrades.com, click on this thing right there at the top. This is what it costs, so it's no mystery to you. All right, it's $25 a week after the 3-day free trial. If you want to keep going after the free trial, it's $10. I'm 10% discount, $90 a month after the 3-day free trial. If you want to do it on a monthly basis, that's what most people do. Some people start out at the $25 and then they realize that they're paying a little extra, and they can get a little cheaper here and they just switch over. You can do that if you want to. If that is you, just let me know. You can also switch over to the annual if you want to. That's the biggest discount. It's like a 23% discount over the weekly if you do the annual. Alright? That part is done. Now, if you are going to use this tool, you have to have TradingView charts. Alright? If you don't have TradingView charts, you can go here to targetviewtrades.com, click on Getting Charts, right here, TradingView charts. And in here, you're going to want to go for the monthly. Alright, to begin with, go for the monthly. They have really good sales. A few times a year, really good sales. And there'll be a really big sale on the annual. You want to wait till they have a really good sale, switch to the annual. I mean, it's like 70% off. It's a really super deal. But for now, just get the monthly. They don't have a sale going on right now that I know of. And it's $14.95 a month for this version right here. This will give you 2 charts. It'll give you up to 5 indicators per chart. We only need 2, 1 or 2, maybe 3. The technical alerts are the big things. It'll give you 20 technical alerts. Right, I have the premium, so I get 400 technical alerts and 8 charts. But the essential would be plenty to start out with. You get 2 markets, and that's plenty to start out with. If you go to the plus, you get 4 markets, and that's also plenty. But you get 100 technical alerts, and that's great. You do have to get data. If you don't have data, real-time data, you do need to get real-time data if you're going to trade futures. All right. If you're not going to trade futures, if you're going to trade ETFs and equities and stuff like that, you don't have to pay for the real-time data. You could even go for the free version if that's what you're going to do. You don't have to. With the free version, you can have 1 indicator, and you can have 1 alert, I think, and 1 chart, 1 layout. You're pretty limited, but you don't get futures data. None of them give you free futures data. Now, the futures data is $7 a month. To get futures data, you click on this thing right here. Go to TV Trades. Go to Accounts and Billing. And in here, the thing that you need is this one right here. $7 a month. You get the CME, CBOT, COMEX, and NYMEX for $7. That's a steal. A steal. When I first started doing this stuff, way back in the day, I was paying $500 a month just for data on TradeStation. It's a rip-off. No, I think they give it away. That was a long time ago, I guess. Anyway, what I wanted to go over next, I want to go over all that stuff with you. Alright. And I want to answer any questions that anybody has. I don't see any questions coming in yet. Hey, Wayne. John, I don't know if you sent that to me yet. Again, my phone number, if you wanted to send it to my phone, is 617-943-3298. You can just take a picture with your phone and send it to me. Okay. Don't call me on that number. Alright, nobody call me on that number. You can text me on that number anytime you want, but don't call me because I never answer it. You can text me if you want to. Alright, again, I'll type that number in here for you. It is, I think I'll type it in, if I can find a way to type it in. I don't know how to type it in. Okay, well. Anyway, it's 617-943-3298. Hey, and I figured something else out. All these last things I have been upset about not being able to draw on the charts. I figured out how to draw on the charts. You just use this thing over here. Brush. See, you can draw on it like that. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway. The stuff that I wanted to get into today. Well, first I want to see if anybody's got any questions. Do you guys have any questions? John, I mean, I know you want to do the NQ. One of the things that I was asked is what range do I use for various things. Like Tom, I think You might have sent that to me in Telegram. I think it might have been Telegram. Yeah, here it is right here. I trade the ES and the Dow. What range chart? 4 range seems too short. It is too short, especially for the Dow. Let me see. Tom, did you make it in here? Let's see. Tom did not make it in. Alright, well, I'll tell you anyway. The way that I do it, on the NQ, I use a 31 range. Alright, and the reason I use a 31 range is because it's one less than 32. 32 is evenly divisible by 4. So when you're looking at a bar like this one right here, and you're saying, okay, on an up close, I know this is going to be a long trade. I want to be long on an up close. So I'm going to put a buy stop limit 8 points above the bottom of the bar. 8 points above the bottom of the bar. So the bottom of the bar is here at 129. I'd be buying 137. Alright, I can put that on ahead of time. I know ahead of time that that's exactly where it's going to be, so I can do it ahead of time, like right here. Now it's not actually a valid trade, but I could actually put a buy stop limit right there, alright? Because I know ahead of time where that's going to be. Is it still the same thing? Yeah, it is still the same thing. It's not actually a valid trade, so I'm not going to do it. But, but it's worth noting. That's why I use range bars, and when I use range bars, well, that's not why I use range bars. That's one benefit of using range bars. But the fact that it's one tick less than a multiple of 4, it makes doing the math easier. All right. Now Mike R is in here, and he had suggested something last week in our partners meeting with the other stuff. And then he and I met last Friday night, and we went over something else. And Mike, what you were saying was to use the price thing in here. It's not in there. It's not in there. Somewhere it is. But anyway, there's another way to do that. There is another way to do what you were suggesting, and let me show you that. It's one of these right here. Next one down, I think. That one? Nope. It's, maybe, was it this? It was one that I was drawing. I was using this morning. I don't know where it is, but I was using it this morning, and I was drawing rectangles with it, but I was drawing triangles with it, but you can draw a rectangle, and if you draw a rectangle, it does basically the same thing that you were doing, Mike. It's a way so you don't have to do the math, basically, and I don't know why I don't have it over here right now, but it's not in there. It's not in there. Geometric shapes, it should be in here. The rectangle should be here too. Alright, so if you just draw a rectangle, this is what I was trying to say. If you just draw a rectangle, and you make your rectangle, you make the coordinates of your rectangle, in this case, 8 points apart, right? So you make your rectangle 114 up to 122. 122. Like that. Okay, whoa, maybe that's too far. Sorry. That was way too far. 114 up to I don't know, what am I thinking? 8 ticks above that. Not 8 ticks, 8 points. So price bar number 1 is going to be at 114, 911, 14, and then that should be 9122. There it is. That's what I was trying to do. All right, that's 8 points. So you can put this anywhere you want, but you can set it up. You know, look, if you look over here on the right hand side, it's got blue right there. You can set it up so it's a different color, so you can see the high and the low of this. And I could say, okay, if I want to go long on an up close, that up close is going to be right here at 46.75. Okay, so it does it. It figures it out for you. That was just one of the things that we went over. You can do it with a rectangle too, Mike. And I found that the rectangle is actually easier to grab a hold of and move than the price thing that we were using the other day. Okay, give me a second here. I'm trying to find this meeting. Here it is right here. Okay, 5th down. Thank you. You sent 2 email. Okay. I don't have my email open in that one. Let me see if I got email open in this one. Here, I do have it open in this one. Okay. And this is your picture. Okay. Well, you don't have the... That looks right there. What are you saying is wrong, John? What do you want to undo about this? See, like right here, the up close on that, you could have had your order waiting right there. Okay. Like, how can you trade using Braille? You can turn the audio on. Okay, you can turn the audio on, and it'll give you. I'll show you. You can make the alerts come. That'll give you a sound. Okay. Looking at the price on the right. Look at the price on the right. Let me bring your picture back up. Hold it. Oops, that's not your picture. It was in here. Here it was. Oh, you're talking about this thing right here. That's what you're talking about. Okay, that's different. That's a different thing. That's not the watermark. That's going to be on symbol right here, I think. Maybe symbol, status line. One of these things. And you don't. This is going to be all the junk that you can put up here, besides everything up here. And I think if I click on these things, does it have anything over there yet? Nothing yet. Values, no. Background, no. It's gonna be one of these things. You don't want to use thin bars. You want to make sure you do not have thin bars and don't have phantom bars checked. Alright, do not check thin or phantom bars. The status line, we just went through all the status line stuff, right? That was what we just checked. And this, well, here, you can go back and watch the video of this later, and these are what all my settings are, right? These are what all my settings are. I think you might have something in here. Name, that's what you have right there. There it is right there. Scales and lines, symbol, value, unchecked name. Alright, you have the name right there. And you probably have, you could have the line going right there that shows the current price. And that would be going up and down and driving me nuts too. Okay, but that's where it is right there. Symbol, value, name. That's what you want to get rid of. Okay. Alright. Mark, your target view trades box with targets and risk has been disappearing. It reappears if you go into settings and move the box from center to top or bottom or top, etc. When you say disappears, there's only a couple of ways to actually make that disappear. If you have it on, you know, and you have it on, you're talking about in here, right? There's only a couple of ways to make that actually disappear. You have to go into style down here and uncheck tables. That'll make it disappear. Okay. Now these other things, you can move it to 9 different places. Alright, it can be here, in the middle, or down at the bottom. On either side, in the middle, top, or bottom. Alright. So, left, middle, top, and bottom. Center, middle, top, and bottom. Right, middle, top, and bottom. Those are the options. Or just gone altogether. If you have this shut off, then you're not going to have it. But, and that's for the sniper and for the TV trades. Okay, if I put the TV trades on, it just puts one right on top of it. Right. Now, there was something else that I showed you guys. I showed some of you guys yesterday, and I gotta get. I gotta get. Let's see. I'm scrolling down to make sure I get all the questions. How can you, Mike Mar? Let me show you. In the alert in here, when you create the alerts, one of the things you can do is put a sound on, right? And for each alert, you can put a different sound on. So, you know, I know what you're dealing with, and I can't teach you how to do it with Braille, but I can teach you how to know what the sounds mean, right? Because in here, when you set the alerts, you know, if you set an alert, like let's say you're doing the sniper, and on the sniper you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible alerts. So when you actually set an alert, you know, like let's say you want to set an alert on this. When you go to notifications, if you have play sound, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible sounds that you can play. So you can play a different sound for every alert. Right, so you know what each alert means. Like you can have one alert that lets you know when you have a trade coming up. You can have one alert that lets you know when a trade triggered. All that sort of stuff. Okay. it was a different thing. Online Trader Central one that I did, Wayne. It's out on the website if you want to see it. If you go here, it's under here. This, by the way, for all you guys who don't know, all the webinars that I do, I stick in this thing right here. This is the one that I did yesterday. All right, and then I just have they limited me to the number of webinars that I could actually post with the screenshot. I didn't realize it was a limit, so I got to go through and make all these just be links. But the way it is right now, this one right here is going to be down here after today, and the one that we're doing right now will be posted right here, and next week's will be up here. Okay, now today's is called Traders Lobotomy. Now I want to do this in two parts. This week I'm going to do this part, and next week I'm going to do a different part. It's going to be the way that I want to do it, depending if I have enough time. I want to show you why today. I want to show you kind of why you really should try to disconnect what you know from your trading when you're using the tool. And next week I want to show you why you should connect some of the things that you know to using the tool. That's my plan anyway. We'll see how things go. But that's my plan. Wayne asked if you missed a webinar yesterday. That's why I was showing you that. Now Mark, so you should not have your thing disappearing on you. Okay, this should never disappear unless you want it to. It should never disappear. I've moved it around a lot in the last couple of days because it's, there's been so much volatility that when I had it over here, it was in the way because the price kept going up in this corner, and then when I was trying to explain things, it was in the way. But anyway, Mike R, I don't know if you saw the rectangle thing here, right? It's just like the price thing that you were using, but it's easier to grab a hold of and move around, is what I found. I mean, I know that you're just keeping yours active, and so you're probably not having any issue moving it around, but when I tried to do that, it gave me a little bit of a headache. Alright, so is anybody in here not seen any of these webinars that I've done yet? Is this the first webinar for anybody? Because if it is, then let me go through the basics, okay? You type questions into the question box. I'm the only one who can see what you type in. Okay. Yes, the strategy. I will touch on that. John, I will touch on that. There's some other interesting stuff. If you go back and look at, when I talked about the diamond principle a few weeks ago, on there, this one, yeah, when I talked about the diamond principle in here, it's one of these diamond principle. This one right here. If you go back and watch that one, you'll see kind of what I'm going to get into right now, since you asked me about the strategy thing. Yeah, you're new to it. But let's start with the basics, okay? Since someone did say it's their first one, I'm going to start with the basics. And more than one person actually said that. So let's start out with TV trades. All right, this is TV trades. Now, let me remove that, and I'll just shut this off. Now, by 3:30, I intend to be done all this stuff, probably. So I'm just putting a timeline on it for me. When I created this, when I started to create this, those of you guys, a lot of you guys have been with me for years and years. I've been trading for a very long time. I've been trading for over 40 years, and a lot of you guys have been with me with other products that I have. For over a decade, for over 10 years. I know you guys, you've watched my kids grow up and stuff. And Macy is just on my shit list right now. But, sorry. It's not really her, it's her cousin that's on it. She's just the one who got hurt. But, a lot of you guys have watched me for a long time, and you've seen all the stuff that I've created over the years, and how we started out with like one thing, and then I try to make it better, and it comes, and I create another thing, and then I create another thing, and eventually I got like 100 things that you're looking at, and they're all important things, but to a new person, it is just so much stuff that you can't figure out what's what, and at some point I end up being the only one who knows what's going on. This is one thing I'll show you. Way back when, like 2005. I had this thing, and I'm going to put this one on, right, just to show you. I had this thing way back in 2005 that looked like this. Like that. And it got to the point where I was the only one who knew what was going on with that. And you know, it started out, it was actually 3 indicators that I had created laid on top of each other. And so, I mean, it's really not that big of a deal if you know what you're looking for. But, you know, you really gotta know what you're looking for. And I mean, if you look at it right now, it looks pretty simple, right? If this blue one pops out of everything, you're good. If this red one pops out of everything, you're good. Simple, right? Blue out of everything, red out of everything, blue out of everything, red out of everything. Simple, right? Oops. Oops. If you ever do that, right click on this and go move to new pane below. All right. I accidentally dragged it up and dropped it on price. So I mean, simple, right? Now I understand it. I understand what all this stuff means, and I understand which ones were important, which ones weren't important. But over the years, you know, we broke it down, and I made it so I got rid of all the things that weren't important to people, and only left the things that were important. And there, I ended up with that. So it ends up being pretty close to the same thing that we were looking at a minute ago. But it just gets to be too much, right? That's why I decided to create something with no indicators at all. Now, I know there are guys in here that have been with me for a long time, and you rely on indicators. You are just diehard indicator people, and switching to something that doesn't have any indicators at all is hard for you. And I get that. It's hard for me too. You know, in the morning session today, I was going over how you should be able to trade just looking at a chart like this. You know, using leg lengths. And I might have done. If you go back here, there might have been something I did on leg lengths in the past too. I don't feel like going through them all, but there might have been something. I'm never going to get done by 3:30 if I keep doing this. But this morning, part of my lesson plan this morning was how you should be able to look at a chart like this and understand what it's telling you. Like right here, this leg length is great. It should have put in a higher swing. It didn't do it yet. If it does not put in a higher swing and it pulls back and it gets down below this level, then you're in a trend change part. If it does not put in a higher swing right here and it pulls back, then you're in chop. So you should stop trading in that direction. Okay, just looking at the chart like this, I can tell you that. Looking at the chart like this, I can tell you that this leg length is a great leg length because this was a leg length prior to that. All right, now the diamond principle that I taught you guys, I went over a couple weeks ago, suggests exactly where this is going to go, and I can tell you it's going to go right here. If it does do the diamond principle, and it's done the first part of it right now. All right, it's done the first part of it. The diamond principle goes like this. I can use my drawing objects now. The diamond principle goes like this. Let me use the other one, the highlighter. All right, so it goes down and up, and you expect that to repeat. All right, you anticipate that that's going to repeat, but this is your timeline. So that timeline gets flipped over here. That's your timeline again, and this is your price level, and that price level gets flipped up here. So if you bring that over to here, the reason I call it the diamond principle is because this ends up being a diamond like that. All right. And so if you flip all that over and move it over to here, this is where it should end up. Now that it's gone through here, it should have a pullback to about right here, right there, and then you should repeat this leg length right here from right here. That's what should happen. Right, now I can tell you all this without even having any indicators on the charts, and that's where you should be too at some point. You don't have to be. That's why we have this tool. You don't have to think about all that. But one of the things, let me hit erase all drawings here. Okay, remove 7. I really created 17 drawings. Oh, that was fast. You don't have to think about all that, right? You just have to act when it tells you to act. You have to perform when it tells you to perform. You have to do what it says, right? Now, if you wanted to have an indicator, if you insisted on having something to sort of give you a heads up and let you know when something's happening, and you want to be able to see it, I created something for you, right? And I'll show it to you. It's right here. Okay, So when it comes out of the oversold, you're in an uptrend, you have a long trade. Comes out of the oversold and you're in an uptrend, you have a long trade. Comes out of the oversold, you're in an uptrend, you have a long trade. Comes out of the overbought, you're in a downtrend, you have a short trade. Comes out of the overbought, you're in a downtrend, you have a short trade. Now watch this. Watch this. Look. Look how a lot of those match right up, don't they? Now, there's more that goes into this than just coming out of the overbought or oversold. Obviously you can see because we don't have one right here. But it sort of gives you a heads up if you want to put that down there. You know, I'll give everybody access to it. Anybody that's in here, give you all access to it if you want it. But the whole idea is so that you don't have to think about trades like that. This gives you a little bit of a heads up because you know if it's in the overbought, you're gonna have a trade coming up pretty soon. If it's in the basically if it's blue, if the background's blue, and you're in the overbought, you're probably gonna be having a trade coming up when it comes out of the oversold. Okay, like right here. It just did right here. You're probably gonna have a trade come up when it comes out of the oversold. And you know the way I would manage this trade, let's do that right now. Okay, let's exit this and just jump in right here. I'm just gonna jump into the market right here, okay? Now the way I would manage this, I would anticipate, the first thing I would anticipate is that it's gonna get up to here. Now using the diamond principle, what I told you a few minutes ago is that it's gonna get up to here. Alright, right up, I think it was up to here. Let me actually draw that again. Let me draw it with an actual line this time so I can see exactly where it should go. Okay, that's where it should go to. It should go there from here. Okay, that's where price should go. Now, we have our targets in here. Our targets are already defined for us, right? So this target, at the top of that is 19,225. Look at that. We have target number 2 right there at 19,226. Isn't that nice when it comes together like that? I mean, it just comes together like that. Isn't that nice? And, you know, this is how you try. I've got to bring my down back up. I forgot I had that trade on. Hang on. I only got 9 contracts on too. Okay, so we're gonna throw our stop at break even on this one. All right, and our stop is at break even. So now I'm gonna lock in 8 ticks. Now I usually exit my trades with a trailing stop. When I put trades on the NQ with a 31 bracket, I have a 36 tick stop and a 48 tick target. Now it'll usually hit that 48 tick target. And today, my max today, I was up 135 ticks on the NQ with 1 contract. 135 with 1 contract. When I finished the morning session, I ended with 99 on 1 contract. I stopped out on my last 2 trades. Well, my last 1 trade I stopped out. I'm sorry, my last 1 trade I got a break even. My last 2 trades, I didn't get a winning trade. But anyway, you can see I got 16 ticks locked in right here. So I'm going to get 16 or I'm going to get 48. The high of the day is right here. It should go through the high of the day through that number right there. You can see. Okay, so we just got out of that one. But you see how easy that is. And you could have seen this coming. Down here, you're in the oversold, you're in the blue, you know you're getting up close, it comes out of the oversold, you're going to get a trigger. There's your trigger. You also, if you had it set, look what I gave to you. This right here. The little yellow arrow tells you that the next bar, or likely the next bar, not always the next bar, likely the next bar is going to be a trade. But if you're watching this down here, you know. You can see what's going on with that. What the heck? That's my drawing right there. Okay, I was wondering. We did not get a bar that went that high. Alright. That was my drawing. That's where I anticipate it's going to go. Now that's part of the diamond principle, right? You guys remember the diamond principle? Right. Alright. Where is my yellow bar? If you go into sniper right here, click on sniper, it's a snipe alert notice right here. Okay. Go to style. I'm sorry, I got to do things a little slower because I know you're new with TradingView. If you go to TV Trade Sniper and you click on the properties settings thing right there, and in here, go to style, check that box, and it turns on. Now there's an alert for that too. To set an alert, let me show you this. I said I was going to finish this by 3:30 and I'm nowhere near finished. To set an alert, you click on the alert like this, right? You come in here and grab the TV Trades Range Sniper. That's what you're setting the alert on. Now in here, the next up close, next down close, that's the yellow arrow. Right? So if you want to set an alert for that yellow arrow, this Mike A, now I can't teach you how to trade with Braille, but you can make the sound right here. If you want to have a sound when one of those yellow arrows triggers to let you know that the next bar or the next up close is likely going to be a trade, check that. All right. Make sure you check only once per bar close. Now in here, I usually put I would say NQ31R, 31 range. Sniper long next up close. Now, it's going to show up over here on the side when I create this, right? I already have one right here, but I'm going to create another one right now, so you'll see this one show up when I create it. If you go into notifications right here, the way I have it showing up, this toast notification is this thing over here where it pops up on the side. I guess they consider that like toast popping up. It used to not say that, but about a month ago they changed that word to toast for some reason. And the app, this is on my phone. When it pops up on my phone, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, from yesterday's, here. This is what it looks like on my phone. This was something that popped up on my phone yesterday afternoon. That's the app. If I have the app turned on, giving me notifications, then it notifies in the app, so it'll pop up on my phone. Like, again, that's something you can do and have it pop up on your phone, buzz your phone, and then you know to look. And you can have it send you an email, you can have it send something to another app if you want. Play the sound, like that's what you can do, play a sound in here. Whatever sound you want to apply to that yellow arrow, the yellow up arrow, you can do that. You can have like multiple sounds play if you want to. You can have it send you a plain text. You can just skip this, this is junk. That used to be a thing, but it's not anymore. See how this just gave you another trigger. Put in a higher swing and it just gave you another trigger. So that is a valid trade right there. Alright, that is a valid trade. And here it is. Alright, so now after 4 points in profit, it's getting up here to 04. I'll bump my stop to break even. Alright, that's the way that I manage the risk with this. Alright, now that is something that I want to get into. That's part of the lobotomy thing, is risk management and what to do with it and how to manage it and how every trade you have to do the same thing. It just stopped me out, minus 36. I probably screwed that one up. I should have been in 96, 97, and it ran up to 03. So I should have had my stop at break even on that. I had a horrible fill. It's my fault. I shouldn't have tried to do too many things at once. But back here, for creating the alerts, that's all you have to do when you hit create. Now over here, you're going to see it create the alert right at the top there. Okay, there it is right there. Now that's the alert that I just created. You can go in here and you can change it if you want to. If you need to, you can go in here and change the properties of it and have it notify you in different ways. If I click save on this right now, then the next time I create an alert, it'll have these populated by default. Alright, but you can go in here and change the settings. And right now, if I change the settings, see how none of these have a bold setting above it saying what it is? If I type in here, NQ31R, see how it put that bold right there on the top of it? That's what this does right here if you type that in. Alright, I don't really need that. I don't really need any of it, but I put it there just to show you guys. It is nice to get an alert on my phone when I have a trade coming up, and it lets me know if if I happen to be in my office or near my computer or something like that, and I'm actively trading, then I can take advantage of that. Alright, but that's how you set the alerts, and you can set it. Yeah, you can set it so that it has different sounds for you. Okay, so I try to create alerts for everything, every action that happens from these. Right? I didn't create any alerts with this, but you don't really need alerts with this because there is an alert associated with what happens with this. Alright, when it goes into the oversold, that's usually when you're going to get a yellow arrow. When it goes into the overbought and you're in the right trend, when it goes into the overbought and you're in the right trend, you have to be in the right trend. Hang on, we got the, let me undo the bias here. If I undo the bias, I think we'll have a couple of those trigger. There we are, right here. When you go into the overbought, and you don't have the bias level on, you're in the right trend, you go into the overbought, it's going to let you know. Now, you went into the overbought, and get ready for a short. Alright? Now, the purple arrows are not always going to trigger every time you come out of the overbought or oversold, but that is something that you can do. I mean, you could just say, anytime you're in the red and you come out of the overbought, you're going to sell. Anytime you're in the blue, you come out of the overbought, you're going to buy. Now, one thing that you have to know, oh, sure, Jeff. One thing that you have to know is every time you get into a trade, it's got to put in a higher swing to be able to take the trade after. Like this one right here, went up to here, gave you some good profit, but it didn't put in a higher swing. Alright, so this one right here where it popped out, you wouldn't take that. It didn't give you a trigger anyway. It waited until you put the higher swing and it gave you a trigger back here. But then it put in a higher swing, give you a trigger here, put in a higher swing, give you a trigger here. Now from here, if it did, even if you got another trigger right over here, you would not want to take that, right? Because it did not put in a higher swing here. Right? That keeps you from getting 2 stop outs in a row in the same direction in the same market. It's important that you understand that. Alright? It's very important that you understand that. Alright, and the yellow bar. Jeff, well, let me, hang on. Jeff, if you go here to indicators, right, go to invite only and TV Trades Range Sniper, just click on that one time. Right, it'll put another one on there for me. Just click on that one time. And then by default, this is what it's going to look like. Alright, it's going to be this right here by default. If you go in here, it has the bias level shut off. Now you guys remember when I was, those of you that have been watching for a while, remember when I was in the beta version, I had the bias level on all the time by default. It was always on. You couldn't shut it off, as a matter of fact. But then when I broke the sniper out, because the sniper turned into its own thing, having all these different things, all these different properties, the sniper turned into its own thing. So I broke it out and I made the bias level something you can put on or take off if you want to. Like if you know the market's in a overall uptrend on the day, and you only want to take long trades that are trades that are above the 233 moving average. Turn the bias on, and it's going to eliminate any short trades that are below. Any short trades that occur above the 233 moving average. So basically, what that did right there is this: is said moving average simple. It said basically only take longs, only give us longs when you're above this, and only give shorts when you're below that. Right? So today was a big uptrend day, so I don't know when we were last below it. There it is right here. Okay, so you're not going to get any longs when you're below it over here. That was still today. That's right, the morning started out bearish. It was retracing 100% this morning, retraced, and then it retraced another 100% back. It was a great day for trading. Great day. I had my best day of the year today. I did. I was up over $2,000 a contract in the morning session. Can I show you that again? Alright, Jeff, what did you want to see? The whole thing? Or just how to put it on? I'm sorry, where is it? Over here. Do I need to send you NTV to get... yeah, that'd be good. Just do that, Wayne. Just if you guys are in here and you already have TV trades, you already signed up with us, and you already have TV trades, and you want to get the range trigger, send me your TradingView login ID to support@targetviewtrades.com. Support@targetviewtrades.com. Okay, send me the login ID there. I know I say no indicators and no anything, and you don't need to have the indicators. But I know a lot of you guys are used to just having indicators that you can lean on a little bit. Hang on, let me see what's going on here. How to put it on. Okay, Jeff. To put it on, let me get rid of the original one. Let me get rid of all of them. There. Okay, we'll get rid of the simple moving average too. Alright, there. Everything's gone. Everything's gone but this little thing that I drew over here. See this consolidation right here? You don't want to trade anymore. We had that one trade, and it stopped putting in trades after that. Remember what I was saying earlier about how you should be able to trade with this just looking at price? And it puts in the higher swing, and it should pull back. It should do a 50% pullback at the leg up, which it hasn't done, and then it should exceed the prior swing high, which it tried to do. Now, it got us a long trade over here, one that worked out, and then it got us one that didn't work out. So after you get one that doesn't work out, you don't trade in that direction anymore until you get a higher swing in another trend. Alright, so here we go, the sniper. You go to indicators, Jeff. Go to invite only. And you, Jeff, I know we'll have some of these things in here. You'll have that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and this one. Click on TV Trades Range Sniper one time. Okay, and it's going to show up. Bang, just like that. Alright, again, if you guys want the range trigger, send me an email with your TradingView login ID. That's this ID right here. Whatever you're logged in as, I'm logged in as TV Trades. When you hover over this thing up here, I'm logged in as TV Trades. Send me that, and I'll enable it for you. Okay, if you want the range trigger and you don't have it. Okay, good. Alright, so that's all you have to do, Jeff. That turns it on. Now, I gotta go back here. I said I was gonna be done at 3:30 in here, just 3:40, and I'm still not done. I was gonna put the basic TV Trades on here. And for the people who are brand new, when you put the basic TV Trades on, this was originally created for equities, right? It was created for stocks. It wasn't created for futures. It works great with futures. It works great with everything. But it was created for stocks. So let's just throw a stock on here. Let's put, I don't know, somebody give me a stock. Something. I don't know, do NVIDIA. Right? That seems to be a popular one, right? Do NVIDIA. I have no idea what it did today. But here it is. Bang. Alright, and here it is, and this is a 31 range, so every bar is 31 cents. You probably don't want to do that with NVIDIA, right? It's $100. You probably want to do that like a 50 range maybe, so every bar is 50 cents, or 100 range maybe, so every bar is $1. And this is what it was originally created for, okay? And so the way it works is like right here, this table is based upon the last either blue or red arrow that triggers. The last blue or red arrow that triggers. So this table is based on this arrow that triggered on Monday. And it gave a long trade here on Monday. It said the stop had to be 102.49, so the stop is down here. And it said your first target was 109.65, which it hit. The next target was 109.99, 110 basically, which it hit. And the third target is 121.75, which it's on its way up to. 121.75. It was created for equities originally, and it only gave the long trades when you first put it on. Alright? Because most people only want to buy stocks. They don't want to, they're not really interested in selling stocks. Now, if you are interested in selling stocks, okay, John, I'll check. If you are interested in selling stocks, you just have to check that part of it right here. Check that, and it's going to give you the shorts too. Alright. So when you have shorts showing, this table is going to be based upon either the last blue or red arrow, whichever one you have. Alright, if you go to bar replay here, I think I had replay, didn't I? Oh, I can't do replay on the range bar. If you do it on a 5-minute. Okay, so you see this is based upon this last red bar right here. Now, if I were to go bar replay on this, and put it here, it's going to be based upon the last blue bar. When it populates, this last blue bar right here. Right, that's what the table is based on. If I go back even further, it's going to be based upon this red bar right there. Okay, so it gives you all your target information, all your stop, what the stop value is in points or dollars, depending what type of chart you have. Gives you all the target information. If you want risk reward in there, you can check the risk reward right here. Alright, like that. And what this shows you want that to be 1 or above. It shows you the distance, the ratio between the distance of your entry and your target number 1, and the entry and the stop. Okay, that's what it shows you in there. So that's what TV Trades is like. Now, one of the issues that I had with people, some guys were using TV Trades, just TV Trades, and they're using it on the 30 range on the NQ. And let's go do that for a minute. 30 range on the NQ. And this is what it looked like. Well, hang on. That's not it's a 30 minute. I'm going to do a 30 range. Do a 30 range on the NQ. Like this. Okay. Sarge, are you in here today? Let me see. I want to see the list of people who's in here. Yes, you are. Double edge. So I know you were looking at the NQ on a 30 range, right? I know that's one of the things you were looking at in the beginning. We can't do the range bars on the replay. Sorry, can't do the range bars on the replay. And I know that's one of the things that you were looking at in the beginning. And in the beginning, I mean, it worked great. It works great just using the TV Trades on the 30 range, right? You had this nice long right here that ran forever and ever. You had this short over here that looks like it stopped out to the tick right here before it went down. But one of the things about it was, if you get in this one right here, this was this afternoon, at 5 o'clock. This afternoon, not 5 o'clock, but 3 o'clock. And it ran, but what if you missed this right here? If you missed that one, then you didn't get another long trade. And if you had the bias on and you're only interested in taking long trades, then you're not going to get any of these shorts in here probably. Yes, there's no short trades, it's just the long trades. But you missed it. You missed your one shot at it. That's why I created the mid-trend trade. Alright, so you throw the mid-trend trade on there, and it's going to show you where you can enter along the way. These little black arrows let you know ahead of time that you have a trade coming up. In here, before you get a red arrow or a blue arrow like that, if you have the wrong color bar on that background, like this blue on a red background, that's going to give you an alert that says you have a long trade coming. Over here, you didn't get the notice that you had a long trade coming right here. But right in here, it would have given you a notice that you have a short trade coming soon. Over here, right here, if you had the shorts on, it would have given you a notice in here that you have a short trade coming soon. Over here, it gave you a notice you have a long trade coming soon. That's the way that works. Okay, right in here, it gave you a notice you have a long trade coming soon. And that's how the TV trades works. And the TV trades was originally created for equities. Okay, now I've been trading futures every day for years and years, and you guys know that. The spreadsheet has my results, my daily results, going back to January 2nd of 2013. This was this morning. I was up over $2,000 a contract this morning, but then I stopped out on my last. Well, I stopped out on the ES, minus 10 ticks on the ES with 9 contracts on, and minus 36 ticks on the NQ. So I ended up with 99 on the NQ and 55 on the ES this morning. But anyway, this is part of the lobotomy part that I wanted to get into and I haven't even touched. Oh, man. This always happens to me. Anyway, this is what the TV trades is like, alright? So you can have the mid-trend trades and all that, and it was created for equities, and it's great for everything. If you want to put it on this, on a 30 range, and you want to trade it daily intrabar, like this, intraday, like this, that's great. If you want to trade it on a larger time frame, like a 30-minute, it's great for that too. Okay. But in creating the mid-trend trade, now, you guys, I'm a trader, right? And I'm always trying to make things better for me. And in making things better for me, I end up making things better for everybody. Because when I make it better, I trade it. I trade every day in front of everybody. So I'm trading all the stuff that I create in front of everybody all the time. And it makes it better for me, which makes it better for you. So it's a win-win all the way around. So I'm always trying to make things better. And when I was creating the mid-trend trade thing, that's when I stumbled onto something else that looked really good, and then I honed in on that for a little while. I got tunnel vision on that for a little while, and I created the sniper, and then I created something else. The sniper, actually, the aggressive sniper was the first part of the sniper that I created, and this is the aggressive sniper. It's going to add a whole bunch more here. Alright, the aggressive sniper waits. It's aggressive because there's more of them, but it waits. It waits until after the pivot's formed. Okay, it waits until the pivot's formed. Now, the regular sniper is usually going to be on the pivot. Alright, it's going to be on the pivot. So, you can use either one, or neither one. If you have the aggressive sniper on, and you put these yellows on like that, the yellows are still going to be triggered based upon the aggressive sniper, and the table is going to be triggered based upon the table information will be based upon the last arrow that printed. Alright, either black or sniper arrow. If I put this back on, if I put the sniper back on there, the regular one, you see it just changed the values in the table to bullish because this is what triggered the last thing. So it changed the values in the table to bullish. If I take that off, this is what the last trigger was. Okay. So on the NQ, when we started this meeting, so you go back here, put that on and that on, and do this. When we started this meeting, we got into this chop. I had drawn the diamond, right? Remember the diamond? I said price was going to get up to here. It hasn't quite gotten up there yet. We got all this sideways garbage right here, and it's got to get out of this to really start moving in our favor again. I also said when you get a trade that does not put in a higher swing, you don't want to take the trade after that. This is the one that I stopped out on. I should have had my stop at break even. I got a horrible entry on that, and it was my fault. But it went like 5 points, I think, right? Even if I get in at 97, it ran up to 202, so it did go almost 6 points into profit. So you know, the stop goes to break even on the 31 range. I bumped the stop to break even after 4 points in profit, so I should have had my stop at break even on that. I shouldn't have stopped out. And then I had to put in a higher swing before you could take another trade in that direction, right? And so if you look all the way over here, the higher swing is right here. We'll do this horizontal line like this. This is what it had to get up above, which it did right there before it gave you this trade right here. All right, and so from there, it had to get up above here before you take another trade in that direction, right? Which it just barely did right there. So you have another trade coming up right now. If you had this down here at the bottom, you'd know you're not going to actually get a trade because you're not coming out of the oversold. Okay, so it's not actually going to trigger anything. There is a bunch of stuff that you can do that you can work with using this down here, but I don't really want to get into that. So the whole idea behind this is that you don't have to think about the trades. You just put them on. It lets you know ahead of time that it's coming. And Mike A, I know the audio is going to be more important to you, and that's back in February, I think, when James B introduced us. I was thinking of this for you back then, because you can hear everything. You can make different sounds for everything that happens. Like you can have an alarm clock that lets you know when, hey, there's about to be a trade. When this yellow arrow happens, that's going to be your, the alert for that yellow arrow in here will be, hang on, let me just go to range sniper real quick here, and do add alert for range sniper. That's going to be your sniper long mixed up close. You do only once per bar. Now in here, if you're only using one time frame, in here I would put the time frame in. You don't have to put a time frame if you only use one time frame, but if you use them more, then put the time frame in here. But in notifications, you hit play sound, and you can have that one play. You can have it play like an alarm clock or a beep beep or something like that. And for longs, you can have it do once. You can have a different sound for each thing, basically, so you understand what's happening without having to actually see it, and then you can take action. I don't know how you're actually going to take action, but tell one of your boys to take action for you. Yeah, but it puts the alerts over here. Whether you have any of that selected or not, it's going to list it over here on the side. Okay, like all these things, the sniper shorts and longs and all that stuff. It's going to list all that stuff over here on the side. Now, these are the alerts, right? Now, I had these things listed, and while we've been talking, this one triggers right here. I probably have an alert for that at 1548. Maybe I don't have an alert running right now on the NQ. It doesn't look like I do have an alert running right now on the NQ. Nope, I don't. I did have one, but I think it timed out. But you see that level right here? We just got up to it. It took forever, but we got up to it. It finished it. But now you got a higher swing, so now this time of the day, it's an awesome time for this to happen. Alright, so you exceeded that swing high. This is your leg. You need the retracement. It should come back down to here, and then it should do another leg. When this starts to retrace, we don't know how big this leg is going to be yet, but going with the diamond principle, right? This one. Going with the diamond principle. This is what needs to be repeated. Okay? It should pull back to roughly here. Once it does pull back, roughly there, and then repeat this again. Over here. Alright, that will complete the diamond. You see what I mean? I know that's a lot of talk. But it hasn't pulled back yet, so we don't know how big this leg is going to be. But you had your long trade from back here. Now that is with just that on. Right, if you had the aggressive sniper on, you're probably going to have a couple more in there. Probably. Because the aggressive sniper does not have to pull out of the overbought or oversold to trigger. Okay, so you had it there, you had it there, you had it again right there. You guys see all that? No, I only have 5 minutes left. The whole idea behind the Trader Lobotomy thing is that you don't have to think about it, right? You get the indication, you take the trade. You get the indication, you take the trade. You don't need to think about all the stuff that goes into this. In next week's meeting, what I want to do, if I have time, maybe I'll make next week's meeting 2 hours. But in next week's meeting, 5 minutes trade setup, you need to have a stop loss at the top bottom of the previous thing. Yes, I think so. Ronnie, I just saw your message over there. Hang on. Okay. Let me cover that for you in just a minute. Alright, and Jeff, you're all set. And Jill's all set. And Dan's all set. So, right here, this isn't much of a pullback. This is not much of a pullback. It is a trigger. So, like I said, it is a trigger, so you just take the trade, right? Ronnie, you had said on a 5 minute. You're looking at a 5 minute. Okay, so let's just look at that for a second. Okay, if you try to put the sniper, it's a range sniper. It has to be on a range bar. All right, it's gonna give you this alert here. If you try to put the sniper on something other than a range bar, it's gonna give you that alert. But so I'll take the sniper off. All right, and we'll put the regular TV trades on. So here with the regular TV trades on a 5 minute chart, you got your mid trend trade indication right here. Okay, and your stop on a 5 minute chart is gonna have to. I mean, it'll tell you what the stop is, but that's gonna be based upon the bar that triggered, or this is 88.812. Why does it say 812? 18.812. It's looking all the way. Oh, it's looking over here. This is what it's looking at. Over here, I think. Isn't it? 18.812. Yeah, it's this low right here. It's looking at the last blue bar that triggered. It doesn't trigger off of the mid-trend trades. Alright, it's after the last blue bar that triggered. So your entry point is right here on this, right? 862.5. Long entry 860.5, roughly. So you stop on this run, Ronnie. What it gives you for the stop on a 5 minute is it's going to give you the low of the bar before or the low of the current bar, whichever is farther away, is what it's going to give you. Right? That's why I gave you the 812 right here. So you can use this if you want to. It's going to give you that information. Uh-oh, hang on. I lost something here. There it is. Okay. It's going to give you that information. Hold on. Check my email you sent me. Okay. Alright. It works. Hey, you did send that to an email. Alright. Hang on, let me take a screenshot of that, because I'm gonna take a picture with my phone. Because I was told by my ad guy that when people say good things, you should record it. Alright. So, Ronnie, the prior swing high or low is going to be, that's going to be a good distance most of the time if you're on a 5 minute, right? But that'll keep you in the trade. The thing you gotta think about when you're doing that is the risk reward, right? In here, this last one, the risk reward was like next to nothing because the first target was like right up above it, and the stop was a little bit below it. The stop was a little further away than the first target because the first target was like right up above it. But when you're talking about that on a 5 minute chart, like let's say you got this one right here, you took the mid-trend trade, and the mid-trend trade is not going to register anything in the table. Then you would have to look at the prior swing high or low for the mid-trend trade, right? You get in right here. I mean, you could look here if you wanted to, but I would look down here. This is where I put the stop, down here. And the target, it's going to give you the... Hey, the table just disappeared. That's what you were talking about, isn't it? The table just disappeared? I've never seen that before. Huh. Alright, turn it off and on. I've never seen that happen before. Okay. Well, that is a new thing. Right, let me put it back on. If I shut that off, okay, there's the table, and now it's back on. If I turn that back on, it's back on. Okay, I don't know why the table disappeared. That is weird. I've never seen that happen before. That was Mark. You said that happened to you, right? How do you save the layout? It says the word save right here. John. Right here underneath there. This layout that I'm using right here, you can have. Here, this is it right here. Copy it, paste it, submit a question. Here it is, enter my question. I can paste that right here. Right, that is the layout. You can copy that layout, click on that layout. You can use that, right? It's going to give you a read-only copy when you click on it. In the upper right-hand corner, click the word copy, and you'll be able to use it. Okay. All right. So Ronnie, yeah, that's what I would do to answer your question. I would do that. Use what's in here. If you're comfortable with what's in there, use that. If that seems like it's too close to you, if the risk reward isn't what you're thinking it should be, look beyond the first target to the second target. All right. Because the risk reward is based only upon the first target, and if that first target is right next to you, then it's not going to work out very well for you. I wanted to tell everybody it's just about time for me to wrap it up. I want to tell everybody who's in here, if you have not taken the free trial with us and you want to take the free trial with us, go here to mytradinghq.com. The homepage has this right here. Click on the take the free 3-day trial right now. Click on that. This recording is going to be in here. Upcoming and past webinars, it's going to be in here right at the top. It's going to be right here. Next week's link will be here. By the end of the day, I'll have next week's link right there. But this week's recording is going to be right in here. Right? Look at that range limit. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Made that myself. Alright, let me see. How do you say the layout? I did that. How do you put alert window on the right? This thing over here, you mean the alert that keeps popping up here, or this thing over here? You click on this right here. Right, if you don't have any alerts set, then it's going to be blank. Right, and I can have up to 400 alerts. These are all individual alerts that I have set. Right, and you see these stopped ones? That's because they expired. And some of them were stopped because the market was too volatile. But I gotta go in there and clean that up. I don't need to have all those alerts over there. Okay. Let's see. Next week. Now, I'm running over a little bit right now. But I wanted to... the whole Traders Lobotomy thing, the whole reason I wanted to talk about that is because when you get the indication, you just take the trade. Alright? You just take the trade. You don't... if you think about it, if you try to put your logic onto it, then that's what breaks things. Right? Not that your logic isn't genius. It is, I'm sure, in its own way. But there's a reason that you're here. And, my logic is tried and true. Tested. And, those of you guys that know me, that have been trading with me for years, the idea is to be consistently profitable. Alright? You don't have to try to take every single trade. Set a goal for yourself. Like my goal in here is to make $100 per contract. And, so far this week, these are the 4 days this week, right? Actually 3 days this week. These are the 3 days this week. So far this week, it's taken me 12 minutes to get my goal for the day, total, this week. Today was 3 minutes, yesterday was 5, the day before that was 4, Friday was 3. That's what it takes to get the goal for the day, for me. Now, that's because my goal is pretty easy to achieve. And, I make it easy to achieve because, 1, I have a time limit. 2, I'm doing like a million things all at once. And 3, I want to be able to show people again and again and again how to do it. But making an easy goal like that doesn't mean it doesn't turn into any real money. Making the goal like that and quitting when I get the goal and adding 1 contract a month so far this year has me earning an average of $2,185 per hour and only having to work 52 hours this year, 51 and a half hours this year, averaging $2,185 per hour for those 51 and a half hours. So you don't need to trade 1,000 times, and if you have the time to work through this, you can't rush the process. You got to gain confidence in the system, gain confidence in the tools that you're using, gain confidence in the trades that you're taking, and your ability to execute the trades properly every time. And that is key. If you can't execute the trade properly, and you stop out, like that one that I stopped out on earlier, that was my fault. I messed that trade up. I stopped out because I messed it up. I should have had a break even on that trade. But this one right here, I could take this trade pretty easy. 47. I'd be selling 35 right now. If I had my DOM up, I would. And I will put it on there. Actually, it doesn't look like it's going to go down. Okay. But so what this is saying right here, if I had the alert on, it would say the next down close. And if you had Mike A, if you had the alert set for that, it would give you whatever chime you want it to give you and let you know get ready for the next down close. So 47.25 minus 8. That's going to be 35.25, right? 35.25. There it is. Oh, it's not. It's 39.25. What am I thinking? 39.25. I was wondering why that seemed so far away. 39.25. Okay. So that's where you would put it, just like that. Ahead of time, you know that. Right? So 48.50 minus 8. It's going to be 40.50. Okay. You know that ahead of time, so you can be ready. I know on a down close, the next down close is likely going to be the trade setup. Right? If this bar closes up, well, then it closes up and we're going to reassess. But, as it keeps moving up, you just got to keep track of where the high of the bar is. The high of the bar right here is at 49.50. So 41.50 is 8 points away from that. That's what I'm going to sell. All right, let me bring that back up. This should be at 41.50 right now. If I click on that, I'll undo that. One of the things that I wanted to go over in the beginning, I started to go over and I got distracted. On the 19 range bar, I use a 25 by 45 bracket. On the 31 range bar, I use a 36 by 48 bracket. So this is going to trigger us in right here, I think. I use a 36 by 48 bracket. On the 7 range bar, I use a 10 by 30 bracket. Okay, I use the 7 range bar for the ES. And all the other ones I use the other ones. What range? And the range trigger is in the overbought coming out right wing. So when it comes out, it is probably going to give us a purple arrow when it comes out. Alright, you're in the red. Usually if it's in the red and it comes out and you're coming off a lower swing, it's going to continue the trend. At least it should make it down to the swing low. Alright, and if you set your goal for the day, usually making it down to that swing low is going to be enough to achieve your goal for the day. You only have to do that one time a day. Right? You can see since we've been in here in this meeting, we started this meeting back here, right? Back here we started the meeting. There's one trade there that worked out. Here's a trade here that worked out. There's a trade there that worked out enough to get the stop to break even. There's a trade there that worked out. This is the first stop out right there, and this is the second stop out right there. So you had 2 stop outs, and then you had this one that worked out, and this one right here that's still trying to work itself out. 49.50. So, in the scheme of things, in the beginning, what I was drawing for you when I said if you're looking at the charts with nothing on it, like this, what I expect out of trades, when you get the leg up, let me do this. When you get the leg up like this, I expect a 50% pullback, which is what we're in right now. And from here, you should get another leg like this one, all the way up like that. So this should do this. This ought to go over here, and you'll have another one of those that brings it. My mouse just ran into something. Brings it all the way up to wherever that is up there. Okay, if I were to shrink this down, this size leg right over here is what you should have. Right, and the way that that comes out in the end is price goes up, it comes down, and it goes up again. And you have another leg that repeats itself like that. It's all the diamond principle. We're not going to end up getting in this trade right here, so I'm just going to cancel it. But that's why I was trying to point out right here why it might not close down and why this might not end up being a short trade. Okay, that's what I was trying to show you with all that drawing stuff. Okay, oops, I'm still in the drawing thing. Hang on, didn't mean to do that. Alright, so, fun stuff. Again, if you haven't taken the trial, go out to targetviewtrades.com and take the trial there. Okay, targetviewtrades.com and take the trial. It's one of these things. This one. This one. This one. This one. I don't know. One of those things. Anyway, so there were plenty of opportunities to take trades that worked out. There were a couple of opportunities that did not work out. And the one that I took that did not work out, that was my fault. I think it was this one right here that stopped me out. No, it wasn't that one. It was some other one that stopped me out. Over here, I think. I should have had my stop at break even on that. But either way, you know, if I stopped out 36 ticks on that, you know, I would have made 48 on that, 48 on that, something on that, 20 or 30 on that, 48 on that. This one would have stopped out, so I wouldn't have done that one. I think that would have stopped out. Did it go for 4 points? 63 up to 66. Yeah, I would have stopped out on that. That's if that was 9 points below. 63. Yeah, it was 11 points. Okay, but you see how this turned into bullish right here? So what I expect is this leg right here to get repeated. Okay, remember that line that I drew a little while ago? I don't know where it is, but where that line was that I drew a little while ago. We got a similar situation right now happening. That should bring it up to here by 5 o'clock, probably. Alright, and what's the targets? The targets are not based upon that. Targets based on that last one. Let's put the regular TV trades on and see if we got a long target. We do have long targets, great. So 93. What number is that at? 330, 19,330. There it is right there, 19,339. So just using price action, everything sort of agrees with what I said, and the whole diamond principle, that all comes together really well. Everything's suggesting it should get up to that level, and that's that second target, number 2 right there. Alright, I know that was a lot of information. If anybody has any questions, you can email support@targetviewtrades.com. You can text me at 617-943-3298. Again, text me at 617-943-3298. I know that's a Boston number. I don't live in Boston anymore. Ronnie, you said right, but I didn't see the rest of it. Hang on. Yes, right. Correct. Daryl, what website did you go to figure out how to add the yellow alert arrows? You don't have to go to a website for that, Daryl. I don't know if you're still in here. Daryl, are you still in here? I think I answered that question anyway, right? No, Daryl's not in here. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to show him. Alright guys, that's it. I've run over by 15 minutes just about. I am going to wrap it up. Thank you all for coming. Really, if you have any questions, just email me or text me. And if you haven't taken the trial, get into the trial. The trial really is free. Still, really is free. Alright, thanks everybody for coming, and I will see you all next week's session. Next week, I am going to talk about it. Really going to try to. Alright, maybe I'll make it 2 hours next week. We'll see. Thank you all for coming. Well, hopefully you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Alright?